If you've ever lost 20, maybe 30 pounds and then completely stalled, this video is for you. Most guys with over 100 pounds to lose hit stage 2, and that's when everything falls apart. They think they're lazy, they think they've lost motivation. But the truth is, stage 2 is designed to make you quit. And if you don't understand what's happening, you probably will. I've lost over 100 pounds myself, and I've helped hundreds of clients do the exact same thing and get through this sticking point. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly why stage 2 feels impossible, and the system I use to break through it for good with all of my clients. We're gonna go over what stage 2 is, why most people quit when they get there, how to recognize it, and then how to overcome it. That's the most important part. Okay, so real quick, I wanna show you one of my actual clients. Sheila was stuck at stage 2 prior to meeting me and just like always bouncing back. So I almost forgot to weigh in, but I'm glad I went back. I hope the scale is accurate. I haven't been under 150 for many, many years. So she broke through that, and this is her weight loss graph with me. She is now at 132, I believe, and she hadn't been below 150 in years. That is exactly what I'm talking about, is that once you learn to break through this stage, you are in such a different world that you never feel stuck really again. By the way, if you don't already have this, this is my craving survival map. It walks you through what you're feeling and then how to beat that feeling. Instead of it being an actual need for food, it might just be a craving, and you can stay on your diet if you have something like this resource. It's totally free. Link in the comment and description below. Okay, so some quick context. What is stage 1? Stage 1 could be called the honeymoon phase of weight loss. Do you remember the movie Bridesmaids? At first, it was all fun and excitements. There was, dress shopping and cupcakes and all that stuff you prepare for a wedding. Everything in that movie felt perfect until it wasn't, and then there was a lot of stress in the background. That's exactly what stage 1 feels like. A lot of quick wins, a lot of excitement until it gets hard, and I'm sure you've felt this before. You might experience a huge drop in weight, and that's mainly due to water weight, but there is some fat happening there as well because all of this is so new. You might even try keto or different workouts, different cardio programs, and you're getting success with all of it because, again, you're losing a bunch of water weight, and this is all just so new to your body that it's responding very well. But not many people actually warn you about stage 2. It's the untalked about stage because people just kind of let themselves quit and go back to normal life. So in stage 2, the water weight is gone, at least for the most part. Fat loss gets a whole lot slower. You feel tired and super hungry, and you're like one meal away from a big weight jump. Your hormones change. You might not realize this, but your body is fighting back. This is where most people give up. So now we're about to get into the points to overcome this stage. And this first point is probably the biggest reason people quit, and the easiest one to fix if you catch it early. Okay, so let me show you this. This is the typical weight loss graph that I see with someone who comes to me and hasn't been working with me. Is there is usually a breaking point right there where they go back up and sometimes gain even more than they started off with. Notice the slope of that initial weight loss. Our weight loss graph, we want it to look something more like this, maybe a little bit slower, but very, very steady, and it never goes back up. So this one is about slowing down and taking time. This whole thing does take time. What is 1 year? And I'm not saying it's gonna take 1 year, but what is 1 year in the grand scheme of things whenever you have lived like this for so long? If it takes you 1 year, even if it does take 1 year, which again, I'm not saying it will, but if that makes your life so much better for the next 30, 40, 50 years, that is so worth it. So for this next point, getting ready for stage 2, most people think they need more discipline at this stage, but the real reason is way deeper. So you have to remember, in this stage, in stage 2 specifically, your brain is changing as well, not just your body. You know how whenever your phone updates, how sometimes the screen goes black? I don't know about you, but sometimes I wonder like if something went wrong, like should I try to restart my phone even though it's kind of off, like there's a glitch happening, I don't really get what's going on. Is the update working? Stage 2 is kind of like that. This is where your brain is receiving an update, and there are glitches that happen. Old food habits, they start to sneak back in. This stage is where your brain is learning. So you have to give it time to get that full update and continue with the system. It does get so much easier, I promise you. Okay, so if the scale has ever made you feel like nothing you're doing is working, this next one is gonna flip the script for you. So with all of my clients, I actually have them take their weight every day, but we do not trust the scale only when the weight is not moving. Let me give you this example. If you're old enough to remember the crash of 2008, the financial crisis of 2008, here, actually, I should show you this on my computer. Let me look it up real quick. I bet this is gonna tell a cool story. Okay, so in 2007, if you invested $10,000, you would have, as of today, $42,761. And I know it's been a long time since then, but my point is that as bad as the financial crisis was, as bad as the crash was, we are now higher than ever. If a person trusted the process and just trusted the investment that they made, they would have a lot more money. Now, I know there's people that, were close to retirement age. It's not a perfect analogy, okay? But the point is here, Don't trust the scale, or in this case, the S&P 500, as much as you trust the process. You're doing the right things. It will lead to results, I promise you. So what we can do here is we can use clothes, we can use pictures, we can use measurements. And one of my favorite things to use is strength. If you are getting stronger and your lifts are going up, if your body is looking stronger and more full, you are gaining muscle, or you're at the very least not gaining body fat. And if you break even and then continue on your fat loss journey, and then break even, then continue on your fat loss journey, you're gonna make it. It's just a matter of time. So cravings are gonna come no matter how motivated you are, but they don't have to control you if you do this next thing. This is what I call the PFV method. That stands for protein, fiber, and volume. If your meals hit those three things, cravings are gonna stay much quieter. The goal isn't to necessarily get rid of cravings. I think it's important that we realize we're always gonna have those, and sometimes we're gonna give in to them, and that's gonna be okay. We just want to make them manageable, especially during the weight loss phase, and then they get so much easier whenever you just maintain your weight from then on out. Now the trick here is to have delicious tasting foods. It's not just hacks that help you get through cravings like my craving survival map, but it's actually foods that taste really good. In my cookbook, there are foods, again, totally free, link in the description, that are delicious. Cheesy Mexican protein rice, and lasagnas and all kinds of things are in there that are absolutely delicious, and they're gonna help you get through your diet. I wanna show you another free resource that I have that I think is really gonna help you. You can actually take whatever we come up with here. Okay, so this is FitBuddy, which is my free AI fat loss coach. It trained on all things weight loss. And so here I just have like a buffalo chicken dip recipe, boneless, skinless chicken breast, cream cheese, ranch dressing, homemade or store-bought. So I'm gonna ask FitBuddy, can you help me replace as many of these ingredients as you can to lower the calories and increase the protein? Add more chicken and make it taste fire. And we're gonna see what it comes up with here. So I literally have never done this. We'll see how this works out. So more chicken equals more protein. 1 cup non-fat Greek yogurt swapped for cream cheese. Half a cup low-fat cottage cheese blended until smooth. So that is kind of also a replacement for the cream cheese, I'm thinking. Light ranch, you could also use ranch seasoning, but that is a really good swap there. Frank's Red Hot is perfect. And then here's all of the seasonings. And then 3/4 cup part skim mozzarella and 3/4 cup reduced fat cheddar. You could also go with fat-free cheese. Could we replace cheese with fat-free cheese? And it says, heck yes, you can. So anyways, this is gonna tell you all kinds of things about this recipe. So this is a really cool resource that I came up with that just helps you with all things like creating your plan and your, how many days you should be working out. You can ask it and it'll ask you things about yourself. And I think it's just really useful. A lot of my clients have told me they hit a point at some point in the past before they met me where they felt like they had to keep eating less and less and less in order to continue to lose weight, and they just felt so hungry. This next point is literally the only way to avoid that. So let me show you this on the toddler whiteboard. Okay, so we have 2 pie charts here that are not filled in yet, obviously. No lifting and lifting. So this is about resistance training. So this pie chart is going to be, oh my gosh, it's horrible. So this pie chart, the purple, is going to be calories you have to cut. The blue is going to be calories you burn naturally. What I mean by naturally is just like you existing. That's your BMI, your basal metabolic rate. After lifting, these basically flip. So these are the calories that you have to cut now, and these are the calories that you burn naturally. And the reason for this is because when you have more muscle mass, you naturally burn more calories. It takes a lot of calories to maintain that muscle mass, and so you have to cut out from your diet way less. Whereas here, this eventually continues to grow, and you might have experienced this before. You have to keep on cutting, and you're gonna start losing muscle mass. You're gonna start naturally burning a whole lot less calories, and that's why you feel like you have to starve. Not to mention that by the end of this journey, you don't wanna look skinny fat or weak or soft. And so that is really gonna help with your shape as well. Lifting really stops you from having to cut too much, which I'm telling you could be the difference between your past attempts and this attempt now. This next one is where a lot of people burn out, not out of laziness, but because they just pushed it a little bit too far. I saw this video recently, I think it was from Graham Stephan, that was a person's net worth and how in their 20s it's like $4,000, something like that. In their 50s, it exponentially raises, or maybe it was even less than that, I'm not sure, like the age or whatever. But the point is that they exponentially shot up. That's kind of like walking, and that's what this point is going to be about. If you trust the system and you just do the boring thing, taking steps, or in that video's case, you invest and you just trust that the money will grow, it exponentially yields results. Walking helps you lose fat gently. It doesn't take its toll on your joints. And if you have a lot of weight to lose, like I did in the past, or even more, that is something that you probably are well aware of. Too much exercise, especially of the high intensity variety, can really burn you out. So this next one, if you've ever had a weekend where it all fell apart, this is gonna help you realize that's not the end, because that is gonna probably happen again. So my daughter has this book about a dragon. I think the dragon's name is Brim. I've read it to her like 1 billion times. So I'm gonna tell you the story. So there's this dragon named Brim. He wasn't the biggest or the fastest, but he really wanted to fly. Every day he climbed up onto a cliff and jumped, and every single day he fell. Sometimes he tumbled down the rocks, other times he landed on a tree. The other dragons laughed. You're not meant to fly, just give up. But Brim didn't listen, of course. Every fall he learned something. How to angle his wings, when to rest, when was too much, and especially how to push through fear and how to get over jumping off that cliff. And one day, just like that, he caught the wind. Not a lot, but just enough to know that falling wasn't failure, it was just the next part of the process. And I know that might sound super cliche, but it is true. Everyone messes up, and here's what I want to encourage you with. If you mess up, you are literally on the right track. Like, don't aim for mess ups, okay? Don't try to purposely go out and binge eat, but that is a sign that you were on the right track, because no one, not a single client of mine, not me, has gone through it without hitting those speed bumps. So congratulations, you're closer to your goal when you hit them. Winning is more about bouncing back faster, which is what that craving survival map is all about. It's about getting back on the horse quicker than you have in the past. Now, this next mindset shift is the difference between people that lose 10 pounds and gain it all back and the ones that lose 100 and keep it off forever. And that's that you can't do this alone. I know, again, that you've heard that before, but did you try to do it alone? Or did you depend on a friend that ended up leaving you alone? You need a support system, or a coach, or someone at the gym, or a CrossFit gym. I'm not a big fan of CrossFit, but people do find a lot of success whenever they fit in with that crowd because they have such a good support system. Remember Sheila at the beginning, she got help and she finally made it. She said she hadn't been past 150 in years. Now, most of my clients are a lot bigger than Sheila and they lose a lot more weight because they have a lot more to lose. So listen, if you need help, this is what I do day in, day out. It's all that I do. I literally obsess over this. The YouTube videos that I watch are about becoming a better trainer. I never judge you and I'm never here to beat you up. I'm here to tell you the truth and to help you, and usually do it in a very encouraging way. So my program link is in the description. It's $45 a week with a 2-week money back guarantee. You don't have anything to lose. If nothing else is working and you want to quit, this might be the missing piece for you. So for this next point, if you feel like quitting or you have quit in the past, this next one seriously might be the difference between this time you sticking with it. And that is going to be diet breaks. None of my clients have I ever told them about this and they were excited. But please listen up and you will succeed. You can't cut forever. You can't just keep cutting. Eventually, your calories is what I mean. You can't keep cutting out your calories because eventually you're gonna run into a wall. And that's where that graph that I drew earlier, that's usually that turning point. When you start feeling tired or you start getting intense cravings that craving survival map just isn't helping with anymore, that's whenever it's time to take a diet break. Also, if you just find that, you know what, I'm just not progressing anymore, that would be a really good time to take a diet break and just enjoy the process of gaining muscle for a while, because it's something about taking a break. I mean, we've all experienced this with work. Whenever I legitimately actually haven't experienced this because I love what I do so much. I'm not exact. I know you probably don't believe me, but whatever. Most people, I think, can sympathize with this, that they go on vacation and although they come back and the vacation might have been a little bit of a tease, they do feel rejuvenated, like, okay, I can give my soul to this company again, at least for a little while. Me, I don't work for a company, I work for myself, and so I really like. Remember, diet breaks kind of circle, I didn't plan this, but kind of circle all the way back to that first point, that slow and steady really does win the race. And the diet breaks, although it takes a few weeks out of your diet, it rejuvenates you to keep going instead of crashing and burning. So I would say for every week that you've been on the diet, you want to take roughly half that time to do a diet break, or at least a quarter of the time. So if it's been, let's say 20 weeks, you would want to take at least a month to do a diet break. And I'm telling you, it empowers you so much. Although yes, your progress stalls for that month, who cares? You're enjoying a little bit more food, you're enjoying good fitness and going in and having good workouts. And then you kind of, whenever you mentally say, you know what, I can't wait to go on a diet again, that's whenever you know that you're ready and you're not going to get beat up this time. Because think about it, as you're doing your diet, how many times have you been in the middle of it and you're just like, dude, this is killing me. This is just too much. I just don't know if I can keep this up forever. If you listen to that honest voice inside your head, a lot of times you don't admit it. But What if that voice instead was, I can't wait to shed off the next 20 pounds and see what I look like then? If you're excited to get back in your diet, you've won. If you want to know if you're cut out for this and you're actually going to succeed this time, that's why I made this video. Massive weight loss is on the way if you match these characteristics. So go ahead and watch that next.